Do you ever feel like I'm just not good enough to raise my prices? Do you find yourself thinking, if I just had this particular piece of gear, then I could raise my prices and charge more? Well, today I'm going to teach you how to raise your prices, even if you don't think you're ready yet. So, starting off, most people don't pay more because of your skill or your gear. People pay more because they trust you. If you don't believe me, let's define trust and skill. Skill, in the Oxford Dictionary, is the ability to do something well, okay? Trust, in the Oxford Dictionary, is the firm belief in the ability of someone or something. Your skill doesn't matter if a client doesn't trust you. But if a client trusts you, if a client does trust you, your skill still doesn't matter. How many of you have had a client that you've worked with multiple times and a big project comes up that you know that you could handle, but they hire someone else to go and do that work? When you look at that person's work, it's not garbage, but it's not as good as you could have done it. Yet your client still chose to work with them. It's because they trust that that person or that team can get the job done. The trust was more important than the skill, which is why you don't have to be better to charge more. You just have to get the client to believe that you can do the work and keep your promise in the contract that you made to them. So we're good on the fact that clients don't require you to have more skill in order to pay you more. They just have to believe that you have more skill. Well, do they care about gear? When clients see expensive gear, it confirms for them the trust that they already have. However, if the client does not trust you, you could show them a truck full of red cameras and they would not care. Now I'm about to give you the framework on how to get clients to trust you more. Number one, you're gonna trust them more. We're gonna let them know up front the price. How many of you have been in a back and forth with clients or have been on a 2-hour phone call just trying to keep building and building and building their excitement so that you can give them the price? This lets them know the cost is the cost. This is how much we charge. It's not based on how much money we think you have. It's not based on us trying to fool you into thinking that that's the cost. This is what we cost. Guaranteed, every single time I give a client a price up front, they give me their budget. I don't have to ask them what their budget is. So giving the price up front is very important to getting them to trust you. In addition to this, be ready to walk. That means that if it's not a good fit, whether it be financially, whether it be process-wise, if you have a client that doesn't want to follow your process, be willing to walk away from that situation because all money isn't good money. And by virtue of you being willing to walk away, that lets the client know that you don't need their money and you're not desperate for their money. And that, for some weird reason, makes you more attractive as a potential partner to work with. Number two, be willing to over communicate. That does not mean that every little thing that comes up, you tell them about it, but it does mean that everything that comes up that affects their goal, you tell them about that. Let's say, for example, the client hasn't booked you yet and y'all are still talking and they tell you the date of their event or their project and that particular date you may not be available. Let them know I may or may not be there. It just depends on my prior engagement. You can tell them that. Trust them with that information. The other thing that you want to do is you want to know your numbers. We want to know how many videographers we're going to have there. We want to know how many cameras we're going to need. We want to know how much it's going to cost. We want to know as much as possible just right off the bat. How does that get the client to trust you? Well, you already quoted them the price up front, right? So if you know everything that goes into it, that gives them confidence that you're just not pulling something out of the air, pulling a number out of the air to tell them that it's going to cost and figuring things out on the back end. The other thing is tell them up front how you work. If you don't show up to events, you need to let them know that. Tell them up front, hey, I may or may not be showing up. If that's a deal breaker for you, I understand. They will instantly respect it. Some people are gonna want you there. And that'll be an opportunity for you to make more money, by the way, which you can tell them, okay, if I have to be there, it's gonna cost this much if I have to be there. But if I don't have to be there, then, it's gonna cost what I quoted earlier, okay? Things to not talk about. Do not communicate things that don't affect them. Let's say, for example, you ran out of memory card space, or you need to go to Walmart and pick up another SSD. Unless it affects them and their timeline and their goal, they don't need to know that. Just go and do it. This last piece is you want to be super duper simple to work with. If you're difficult to work with or complicated to work with, that's gonna cause the client to not trust you as much. If they have to think about 12 different variables in order to work with you, they're going to prefer to work with someone that feels really easy and simple to work with. When we send our clients documents, we also send them explainer videos to explain the document that we send them. Like if we send them a contract, we send them a video explaining the contract. So that is going to make it really easy for them to work with you because you're answering their questions on the front end by sending them a video. They know that whatever they pay you, it's done. They don't have to worry about extra expenses on the back end, okay? So the 3 things that you have to remember to get clients to trust you more is that you have to trust them more, you have to over communicate, you have to make working with you sound simple and easy. If you do these 3 things, your clients are gonna trust you more, and because they trust you, they're gonna be willing to pay what you say that it costs for you to do the work for them.